Morning, everybody. The hymn that I'll be talking about today is God Leads Us Along. George Young and his wife dedicated their lives to following the Lord wherever he might lead them. He does the leading, they would often say, and we do the following. God led them to the rural Midwest of the United States, and they travelled from church to church in revival efforts. Their finances were always tight, but through the years, they never went hungry. Mrs. Young said years later, "Oh, sometimes we didn't have too much of this world's goods, but we always had so much of Jesus." They finally saved enough money to buy a small piece of land on which George used his skills as a carpenter to build a small cottage. It was not much, but it was the fulfillment of a life's dream, and when they moved in, they dedicated their home to God and sang a hymn. Sometime later, when the Youngs were away on a ministry trip, a thug who had been offended by George's preaching set the house ablaze. Returning home from their trip, in the place where their little cottage once stood, was nothing but a heap of ashes. All their worldly goods and cherished possessions were gone. As George gazed at the ruins, he recounted the precious spiritual possessions and promises which fire could not destroy: his family, his relationship with Jesus Christ, his ministry, and his eternal home. There and then, the words to God Leads Us Along began forming in his mind. Within just a few days, he had written all 4 stanzas. Years later, a pastor friend who was trying to track down George's widow drove to the small Kansas town where she resided. Stopping for directions, he was alarmed to hear that Mrs. Young was living in a run-down home for the poor and destitute. When the pastor finally found her, Mrs. Young explained, "One day God took my sweet husband home. Oh, how I missed him, because we had always served the Lord together. In my heart, I wondered where God would lead me, and God led me here to the poorhouse, and I'm so glad he did. Every single month, someone comes into this place to spend the rest of their days, and so many of them do not know about Jesus. Isn't it wonderful how God leads us along?" Thank you.
In shady green pastures, so rich and so sweet, God leads his dear children along. Where the water's cool flow bathes the weary one's feet, God leads his dear children along. Some through the water, some through the flood, some through the fire, but all through the blood. Some through great sorrow, but God gives a song in the night season and all the day long. Sometimes on the mount where the sun shines so bright, God leads his dear children along. Sometimes in the valley, in darkest of night, God leads his dear children along. Some through the water, some through the flood, some through the fire, but all through the blood. Some through great sorrow, but God gives a song in the night season and all the day long. Though sorrows befall us and Satan oppose, God leads his dear children along. Through grace we can conquer, defeat all our foes. God leads his dear children along. Some through the water, some through the flood, some through the fire, but all through night season and all the day long. Away from the mire and away from the clay, God leads his dear children along. Away up in glory, eternity's day, God leads his dear children along. Some through the water, some through the flood, some through the fire, but all through the blood. Some through great sorrow,